Hello everyone and welcome to this short tutorial video of one of the best backtesting tools available to traders right now, and it's called FX Replay. Now even better, we at Hola Prime are giving away a free license to any challenge account of $100,000 plus and an exclusive discount for FX Replay on any challenge account below 100,000. So if you are not backtesting, then you need to check out this tool because I promise you it's a game changer when it comes to your trading. So without further ado, let's go ahead and check out FX Replay. Okay, so now we're in the FX Replay dashboard. Now, first thing you'll notice is on the left-hand side, we have sessions, strategies, checklist, journal, and analytics. Okay, so we're going to head off with the sessions. But before we do that, if you look at the dashboard, it will give you all the information you need, how much time you've actually invested in backtesting and the historical time replayed. So, for example, we've already done 1 month, 1 day, and 9 hours of historical charts. It will give you a bunch of other details as well once you actually start backtesting. So if we go to sessions, we can now create a session. Now, a session is basically exactly what it sounds, one session of trading, right? So it could be however long you want it to be. So maybe you have multiple different strategies you want to test out. So you can do one session for one strategy, etc. If we go to strategies here, you can actually create your strategy, right? So you can detail what your strategy is about. Maybe it's a EMA crossover. Maybe it's something to do with the RSI, Fibonacci. Maybe it's just pure price action. Whatever the strategy is, you can add it and talk about it there. Checklist. Now under checklist, you can write all the rules about your trading strategy. So for example, before you enter, say your strategy says that you cannot be during 5 minutes before and 5 minutes after red folder news. So you can put that in your checklist. Was the entry before or after any red folder news? Depending on your strategy, obviously, every strategy has different checklists, right? But it's basically your rules on your entry and exit, okay? So you can write all them down. And when you do enter a trade in the backtest, you can, on that trade, you can basically say, have I actually conformed to the checklist? Okay. Journal is pretty self-explanatory. Here, after every trade, you can actually write down, what went good about it, what was bad, what did you notice. You can basically journal the trade. And finally, analytics will give you all the analytics necessary about your strategy. So let's start off by actually creating a new strategy. Okay, so we're going to name this strategy Sam's Strategy 1. Okay, we could talk about it. So we can talk about, this is a, let's say, EMA crossover 20 and 50 EMA. Okay, really simple. We created it. Cool. Now we can go to sessions. We're going to create a session. We're going to call this Sam EMA session 1. You can enter the account balance. Now this is really cool. Okay, so whatever the account you will be trading in real life, whether it's a prop account, say you have a 100K Hola Prime account. So we can do that 100K. You can also, which assets will you actually be trading? So, maybe you're a gold trader, maybe you like the pound US dollar. We're going to do the pound US dollar for this one. You can add multiple assets should you be a trader who likes to trade different assets. Chart layout we have not yet done, but we can get to that in a minute. Initial date, so you can start, where do you actually want your strategy or your backtesting to start? So we're going to start it, let's say on the 3rd of February, and we're going to end it today, 10th of June, okay? I'm going to create that session. There we are. So now that session is created, okay? So we can go ahead, click on go to chart, or if you, okay, so that session is now created. Now if we go under checklist, we can actually create a new checklist. So do Sam's EMA checklist, okay? And we can add items. So for example, no red folder news. You can add that. And we can also add did candle close above / below EMA. And we can add that. So those are the two checklists, and both of these are going to be required for this strategy. So we're going to go ahead and click create. Okay. Now we're on the session screen, and what we can actually do is before we just hit go to chart and start trading, we can actually go to session settings. Okay. And under balance and assets, so we obviously did $100,000 account. But what's even really cool is that we can actually enable spreads and commissions. So under spreads and commissions, you can actually add the spread and commission, giving you that real sense of what your reality would actually be. If you entered that trade, how much would you have actually made or lost, factoring the spread and commission. So we're going to add a spread of 2 points for pound US dollar. You can also add commission as well. And the date range is done. So that's all good. We're going to save changes. Now we're going to go to the chart. And as you can see, we have the pound US dollar chart, 1 minute time frame. So first, we're going to actually need to add our indicators. Okay, so this strategy is an EMA crossover strategy. So we're going to go ahead, go to indicators. This is TradingView inbuilt. Okay, and just as a side note, FX Replay actually have their own indicators. Okay, so they've got order blocks with signals, really interesting stuff, well worth checking out. Support and resistance zone. They got some really cool indicators, so it's actually well worth just testing them out as well in your own time. But essentially, you have all the indicators here. So we just need for this strategy an EMA or 2 EMAs even. All right, so we need 2 EMAs. We're going to click it twice to add 2 of them on the charts. We're going to get rid of the volume at the bottom. We don't need that. And we're just going to make it a blue line. First one was 20. And the second one, I believe we said 50, and we'll make that one red. Okay, so we'll just change the color to red. And really simple. Now the strategy rules are really simple. Once the EMAs cross over and the candle closes below, we short it. Obviously, if it's below, we short. If it's above, we buy. Okay, so really, really simple. All right, and you can obviously, whatever your take profit, stop loss strategy is, maybe it's 1-to-1, whatever it might be, but that's the whole point of backtesting. See what is more effective. Okay, you can even plot the news as well, which is really cool. So it can inform you where the red folder news was. Okay, and if I now go to buy and sell at the bottom here, I can now enter the amount of contracts I want to buy on each position. We'll just do 1 standard lot, and you can hit buy and sell whenever a alert appears. Okay, so let's go ahead and start playing this. All right, so you can see right now it's 15 seconds, so it's playing almost as real time. Okay, so at 4 times as fast as real time. Okay, and you can obviously speed it up just like you do with TradingView. Okay, we're gonna now drop that to 1 minute, so it'll just do 1 minute to 1 minute. We might speed it up a little bit. In fact, let's keep it at 15 seconds and just speed it up. That's probably better. And we're just going to wait for a signal. Almost. Starting to cross slowly, getting closer and closer. Well, didn't quite cross over. Okay. Potentially now the EMAs have just crossed over. Candles closed below, so we would now short the market. So now the market's been shorted. You can now add your take profit, stop loss, all that stuff. Okay, so what you can do is actually make this a little bit bigger. Okay, and you can now see the trade here. So we can actually edit this trade. Okay, if I just move my camera, we can edit the trade. We can add a stop loss, how many pips the stop loss should be, or a price point of where you want the stop to be. We'll do a 1-to-1. Let's just say, on this strategy, we target 15 pips. stop loss, and 15 pip take profit. We'll just make it really simple, just for the sake of, showing you how it's done. And now we're going to play it out, and we'll see how that works out. And there you would have been stopped out, okay? And now it would have showed you in the analytics, under closed positions, how much you lost. So it was $150 loss, that trade. Okay, and you can keep doing this, all right? And you can actually now start journaling, see what works. Oh, we just missed, but there was another crossover there. So we would have entered. Let's just add another buy. We'll do the exact same thing. Okay, and we will edit it. Stop loss and take profit will be 15 each. And take profit 15, 1-to-1. Obviously, I wouldn't 100% recommend this strategy. This is just purely for, for the video, and you would have got stopped out. Okay, so you can basically test any strategy. Now, this is just a really, basic EMA crossover strategy. But what you can do is you can do so many different things. So, for example, if you want to forget about this strategy, we can now go back and it will tell us the performance, okay, so far. All right, and now you can see the performance, what your account balance. Also do mention that under strategy, you want to make sure session settings, you want to make sure you have selected the strategy. So under here now, you can actually see all your, your equity curve, monthly performance, daily performance, total P&L, all that good stuff. You can also get a bit more in-depth look under the analytics tab. You can see obviously your profit and loss, your losers, your winners, all the statistics you need, right? Okay, the win rate, total trade, average return, risk reward, etc. Performance over time, performance by day, performance by month, performance calendar, all the stuff you need, okay? And you even get Monte Carlo simulation, but we'll come back to that in a moment. If I go back to sessions, okay, I just want to show how you can journal your trade. So if you go back to the chart, you can see a journal icon here. So if we go below here, move this up, go to close positions, you can now see, the 2 trades we took. Now what's cool is if you actually click on show on chart, it even shows you, how the trade actually looked. So that's really cool to see. Now I'm going to go back to sessions and go to analytics, because I want to show the Monte Carlo simulation. Okay, so if we hit now, all right, trade per sim, so number of simulations, the trade per sim, let's say, we'll do 50 trades, okay, and we can, 50 trade, average win rate, let's say is 60%, okay, average loss is 150, and your average win, let's say, is 200. We can now start the simulation. Add number of simulations, we'll do 1. Start simulation, and you can actually see now what to expect. But obviously, it's not always going to be perfect. So you can do 5 simulations, right? And you can see that over time, no matter how it plays out, maybe some days you'll have more of a losing streak, other days you won't. You'll have a winning streak. However it factors in, eventually, after 50 trades, your account balance will be around that kind of figure, right? $3,000 plus in profit. Okay, and you can do that with. So once you actually have stats of your trading strategy, okay, it's never going to be perfect, right? Because some days, even though the average might be a 60% win rate, okay, you're not going to get a 60% win rate every day. So naturally, your P&L and your all your analytics are going to vary a little bit. But over time, over enough trades, it will average out to that, okay? And that's what basically this simulation will show you. That it kind of gives you more perspective in your trading career, right? And that over time, as long as your backtesting results show that, hey, look, it is profitable, it has a good positive profit factor, you'll be fine, okay? And it can kind of give you that idea of what to expect in the future. So a really, really cool tool, okay? And you can do this, over, 20 simulations and see how it would actually look like. And you can see the worst simulation of that 20 at certain points doesn't look that great, but it does eventually all kind of end up, within the same range, okay? And that's basically FX Replay, guys. All right, it's a really awesome tool, okay? It's a tool that I think if you spend time with it, if you're serious about trading, you have a strategy and you haven't truly back tested it properly, okay? And I'm not just saying, scrolling back on a chart and just saying, okay, I would have entered here, but actually play it in real time, not knowing what's going to happen next, okay? As if you're forward testing and doing it properly, you can really find out if your strategy is correct. And if your strategy is profitable, it will give you that confidence in the live market. It will give you that confidence to actually execute those trades because over 100 trades, you are going to be on average up X amount of dollars, okay? So as long as you stick to those core rules. So it's a really cool tool. FX Replay, we're giving it away free to any challenge account of $100,000 plus, okay? That includes obviously the $100,000 challenge account and at an exclusive discount to challenge accounts below $100,000. But thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and we'll see you again very soon. Take care.
Hola Prime, trade with transparency.